My name is Dan DeMarais, Implementation Project Manager for Real Magnet, which is now part of the Higher Logic family and powers the Marketing Automation Enterprise platform. In today's training session, we'll be covering the basics of landing page campaigns. The training goals of today's session are to cover what is a landing page, the concepts of available hosting options, and how to configure a landing page and set up a basic landing page campaign. Some important terms to understand for this training are a landing page, which is a standalone web page for collecting inbound data from visitors. A/B testing for landing pages is a method of testing two different versions of the same landing page to evaluate which one performs better. When we speak of a real magnet field, we're talking about a field that collects data that will be written to the recipient's record in the real magnet database. The one-time field, on the other hand, only collects one-time data from a single landing page. And finally, there's post-submission actions, which are optional actions that occur after a submission is made. So to begin, let's talk a little bit about what a landing page is used for. Landing pages are used to collect inbound data. The classic example is for prospecting. I might want to draw a prospective client in by offering up a download of a white paper or a publication. On this page, I'm asking them to submit their email, name, company, and title before getting a link to download the white paper. But before we begin on how to set up a landing page, let's talk through a few configuration options that Real Magnet offers for how the page is hosted. The first option is for Real Magnet to host the page. And this is the easiest option to work with if you're not a technical person or you don't have access or the time to work with your tech team to get a page up on your site, and you want to do everything within the Real Magnet platform. Now you'll want to create all of the branding, any of the text or the forms, all within our editor tool, but it's much like setting up a message. And we'll work through that in this training session. You'll also be able to add any Google Analytics or SEO information to that page. And if we host it, we'll have the URL of realmagnet.land here. And anything past this / you'll be able to set up yourself. This demo 2 here is because I'm on a demo site, but this could be your acronym. We also have a newer option where you can put your domain's URL here, and it's just something that you can work with our support team on if you're interested in that. The second option is that you host the page yourself. And for this option, you would need to be able to create a page on your website or have access to someone that would. Once that page is created, there's two ways that it could be housed on that page. The first is an iframe within an iframe, and it's kind of like a little picture frame that's holding all the information that you've created, or all that you've created in Real Magnet with the editor, the branding, the form, any images, and it's just going to be hosted within a little window. Or we can give you a div code, and that's going to take on any of your styles. All you're going to do is create the form, and the form will be brought up, but it's going to take on the style, the color, the font of your web page, and you can have all your branding and everything already built into the web page. So how about we go in and create a landing page in a landing page campaign. I'm going to come over here. I've logged into my account here. I'm under the Automations tab. And I'm going to go ahead and just give it a name here. So this is going to be my sample landing page. Let's give it a name. I'm going to choose the landing page template. Select. And this is going to bring up our landing page campaign setup. The first step that we're going to do when we're setting up this campaign is actually going to create the landing page here. And it's as easy as just clicking here, click new, create new. And I have an option to use some landing page templates that may have been designed within my account, but you're going to have also available some pre-made landing pages that we offer up here. And if you select those, they're going to pop up. And you're going to see that it looks very similar to our message editing interface here. We've got our design menu design zones here. We go over to zones. You're going to see that you do have your zones that are available in message editing, but you also have another zone here called the form field. Okay, that's for editing this form here. So in this basic form here, we've already got it set up for email, first name, last name, company. let's say that I want to also get job title in there. So I'll click on this form field and drag it into my form, let it go, and we'll have the options here for setting up this form field. Now, there's two options to start when we talk about the field selection. The first is a real magnet field. In other words, I want to feed the information I collect from this field into a real magnet field that exists within my database here. So I've got my standard fields. Maybe I have some custom fields here. I have a custom field here for job title that I'm ready to receive into. You can also choose a one-time field. Now, a one-time field is going to be data that you're collecting just for this landing page here, and it won't be stored in a real magnet field. And one other thing to mention about the real magnet field is that whatever anybody fills out in this field is going to overwrite what is already in that field. So my name is Daniel, but I go by Dan. So if I have Daniel in my database and then I go in and fill out this landing page under first name and I put Dan, that's going to be what's in there for in Real Magnet's database then. It's going to have Dan in there. The next choice then, I've got here job title. I'm going to decide what kind of field type this is. I have the options of text, single line, a multi-line text, maybe some toggleable values, radio buttons, drop downs, and for the one-time field I can even do some check boxes there. This is just going to be a text field for me. Okay, I can decide whether it's required or not. My label text, that's what's going to appear here above the box here. For this one, I'm just going to make it the same. It's a job title. I want to know that. Okay. I can then have some placeholder text to help out how I want to format this. That's helpful for when there's, for example, a date. You might want to put mm/dd/yyyyyy for the placeholder for what the format you want the text to the date to be in. I then decide the field width. In this case here, I'm going to go with XXX large, and then some optional help text. This shows above the link label here, below the link label, and it's just a little bit of extra text there. Sometimes people use this for a translation or some extra help to tell what you want in that field there. I'll hit save, and then that field's in there. Oops, actually, I'm going to even make this one bigger. Not XXX. Let's go full 100% width there. Okay. Now, I've got that form set up. I've got my branding. Maybe I'm going to come in here, change out my company logo. All of these things are editable. It's an image. There's text. You can see I can drag in some zones, some WYSIWYG zones. Maybe I want to add some text out here in there for to give some extra look to this. But you can see it's a very easy interface to work with. I've got my page done here. I might want to work on some themes here, use some different themes here. Our defaults come with different color themes here that you can go through automatically. You can add a new theme if you've got that ability there. Now my next decision is going to be, what do I want to appear for this form after someone submits it? Do I want to have a submission message? We'll come up here under Form Designer and pull down and go to Submission Message. And this is what the form will be replaced with once someone hits Submit. So I'll come in here. Let's give me a little space here and some sizing and do all my design here just like a WYSIWYG and say thanks for submitting your info. Click here to download the white. And I can add in a URL here for my white paper. I just click there, put in the URL there. Maybe that's my URL there. I'll hit OK. All right, then I've got a link there as part of my submission message. So then I'll come over here to Menu and return to the campaign. And you see that now we have a little preview here for our landing page. We can also do A/B testing here with this campaign. So if I click on this plus, I'll create another page, and I'll also have another step here in my setup. So A/B testing again is where you're going to test one page against the other. It's a little bit different than a message where you might be testing subject lines and seeing which ones would win. you'll see that now I have a little thumbnail of the landing page that I just created. And here we can also add another page to maybe A/B test one page against the other. Much like an A/B testing campaign of messages, we're going to kind of see which one is getting more traction, which one's getting more submissions here. I just create another page here. And then I have another step down here for A/B testing where I determine what I want to do with the winner. So the winning page will be determined, select an option, either when a number of submissions is reached or by the number of submissions on a certain date. So at that date, it'll stop, it'll guess the winner. And then what happens when the winner's determined? Well, I can send a notification to myself, maybe my marketing department, or maybe my graphics department that designed the two pages so they can know which one it is. And then I can automatically show the winning page to any future visitors who come to this URL and go to my landing page. I'm just going to do one page here. Our second option here is talking about configuring the confirmation message. So we set up a submission message that said thank you for submitting your info. And that's this little radio button here. It'll show what the confirmation message is, or I could redirect someone straight to a specific URL. So after they submit, they go straight to this URL. Maybe that's a page on our website. Third, we're going to configure the landing page hosting, and these were the options that we talked about. So if you say I would like Rio Magnet to host my page, you come in here, you decide what the title is going to be. That's going to be the title if someone bookmarks that page. Here you can then, as I mentioned, this will be fixed, but you can set up what you want this URL end to be here. You can do HTTP or HTTPS. You can click here to copy this URL, and I'm going to do that actually so I can use that in a little bit. And then you can see you can put in your Google Analytics, your SEO here. You can also decide whether you're going to redirect to a certain URL after this campaign has ended. And then optionally, I might want to define a post-submission action. So this is an action that's going to happen after a visitor has submitted their information. So as an action, I might add that recipient to a group. And this is great because this could connect to another marketing automation campaign. It could feed them into perhaps a drip nurture campaign, or maybe some other campaign that's sending them some follow-up messages. I could directly send them a message. So maybe I'm going to send them a message with the link to that white paper that they wanted to download. Maybe they lost it, and here's a message just to say thanks for submitting again, and here's the link. I can send a notification, and this is an internal message that's going to go to me, maybe my marketing department, or someone to follow up with this, maybe the sales department. We can add a tag to them. This is another data point that you can add to them that could also have them then feed into another campaign using that action of adding a tag. And then finally, I could set a field value. So I can choose a field here and populate it with any value that I want, and that's because they filled out this landing page. And that could also, be a data point that I use to continue my marketing towards this prospective client. So then I'm going to hit next here, and that'll bring us to a review of the campaign. It'll give us that URL again, which I could copy from here as well. And then the last step will be to deploy this campaign, and I can schedule this out for immediate or future date. Maybe this is just going to be available at a certain time, and then I can schedule it to end manually, or I can set it up to end manually, or schedule a date that this submission ends, the ability to submit ends. Hit deploy campaign. Once I do that, that page is live, and that's about as easy as you can get. So let me put here my page. I'll hit enter, and there it is. I'm got a page up in just a few minutes. So thank you for watching this training session. It was a pleasure, and I hope that it helps you to get up and running quickly with your landing pages and landing page campaigns.